Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. As you know, today is the veto deadline pursuant to the Hawaii Constitution. We notified the legislature yesterday of the final veto list. They're posted online on both the governor's website as well as the legislature's website. In all, I vetoed 7 bills and allowed 4 bills to become law without my signature. The remaining bills on the intent to veto list were signed into law today. I just wanted to highlight 2 of the measures that were on the veto. I think that these are the ones that are, highest profile in this session. The first is House Bill 1850, which would have allowed transit accommodations brokers to register as tax collection agents for the state or with the state. You know, when you look at this bill from purely the state's perspective and the state's desire to collect the state taxes owed, this measure would provide a mechanism to allow us to achieve this goal. However, the use of an intermediary as a tax accommodations broker as the tax collection agent also provided a shield for owners who do not currently comply with county laws or would choose to not comply with county laws. You know, and this was a big concern of mine, the unintended consequences of making it easier to offer a unit without complying with county laws. This would also encourage owner occupants to choose transient accommodation renters at a time when affordable rental housing is in such short supply in our communities and the homelessness remaining to be a critical concern statewide. The other bill I'd like to talk about is Senate Bill 2077, which would have offered separation benefits to Hawaii Health Systems Corporation employees who are facing the abolishment of their positions and transitioning to the Maui health systems operation from the state operation to a private operation. You know, I just want to first state that this transition to a new system of care in the Maui region has never been done before. Again, it's complex and there are multiple stakeholders and issues at play. For several reasons, I felt compelled to veto this measure. I think if you read the veto message, we've provided in quite detail the specific concerns with the measure. I would just like to talk about one specific, and the employees' retirement system had informed me that the bill would jeopardize its tax qualified status because it allows affected employees to choose between a lump sum cash payment that is taxable as wages and a special employee or subsidized early retirement benefit. You know, it is unfortunate that this information became available so late in the game. I do know that this provision was in previous drafts of the measure, and it's unfortunate that it wasn't identified, but clearly jeopardizing the tax status of the pension system is not something that we can allow to have happen. You know, I also would note that I did take the unusual step on Senate Bill 2077 of offering the legislature a proposed draft that I believe responds to the concerns raised in the veto message and provides us with a way forward. You know, I, like the legislature, is committed to a successful completion of the transition for the Maui system facilities. We are focused on the public's health and well-being, and all of us have an interest in assuring that we can successfully complete the transfer as soon as possible. My proposed amendment does 3 things. First, it allows the Hawaii Health Systems corporation as the employer, the state of Hawaii, to be able to negotiate with the unions separation benefits for the affected employees who separate from state service. This would allow us to keep the process moving forward. Second, we've authorized the affected employees would be authorized to purchase retirement credits for the amount of time that they would have served under the current contracts if they separate from state service earlier. This would be a way to honor the contracts and ensure that those state employees who are career employees would have the option of purchasing their service credit. And finally, it does appropriate funds, $25 million in general funds, that would allow us and give us the funds that we would need should we be able to negotiate separation benefits with the affected employees. So the proposed amendments just ensures that we have the ability. It recognizes that there is a duty, I believe, to provide a fair separation as these employees are leaving state service, and it provides a mechanism to fund it. And with that, I think I'll stop and respond to any questions that you might have.
On the vacation rentals bill,
Yes.
there was an argument by the attorney, the former attorney general, that was out of compliance with federal law because the state law says if a listing is out of compliance, then the broker, online broker, can be held accountable, which violates the Federal Communications Decency Act. Are you concerned about that, or what was your response to that?
Well, I mean, I do know that there are various laws that affect the provision of listings of vacation rentals and how that business is administered. You know, as I said, my concern with House Bill 1850 was focused on the policy issue of whether it would facilitate additional rentals and whether the tax broker status would provide a shield that would help more people circumvent the county regulations, and in my assessment, it does.
Governor, in terms of your three provisos for your proposed amendment, are they hard and fast, or are you flexible?
No, I mean, I do think that that allows us to move forward, you know, and I'm hoping that the legislature would consider that. You know, I am committed to resolving the lawsuit that has stopped transition activities. I do know that there is lots of anxiety both within the employees as well as the community about the uncertainty that has been created by the courts. And we are committed to resolving that as quickly as possible and moving forward.
And that requires all three?
Yeah, I mean, I do think, you know, obviously, if we are unable to arrive at a settlement, then, you know, then can't hurt for trying. But I do believe it gives me the tools to proceed forward in a way that I think is fair to the taxpayer. It recognizes the sense of urgency of the community and the employees, and balances the interest of both.
Governor, how did you come up with the $25 million figure, given that your veto rationale had said that it could actually exceed $60 million the way that it was currently written?
Right. So, you know, we were looking at what private sector employers had done in the past concerning separation benefits when they've transitioned or gone out of business. So it was looking at what others might have done and making a judgment about what would be a fair settlement of separation benefits.
Are you concerned that given the uncertainty that you mentioned, Kaiser could pull out of this deal, and what that would mean given the state has already expressed on multiple occasions the inability to maintain these three hospitals?
We have been in communication with Kaiser on a consistent basis, and they are fully aware of our commitment to execute the transfer, but also about the issues where we are interfaced. So they definitely are aware of our efforts and supportive.
Have they given you any indication that they plan to pull out?
They have never discussed pulling out. They are committed to the people of Maui and I think the employees as well.
Have you discussed the potential of them perhaps chipping in, so to speak, to cover some of these benefit expenses?
No, I do know that once the transition or transfer has occurred, they will negotiate with the employees representative to finalize that new contract going forward. So, I know that they are anxious and they would like to, but they are prohibited by federal law in negotiating until the transfer occurs.
Is it your understanding that a settlement with UPW needs to be reached by Friday?
We are working to arrive at a settlement as soon as possible. As you know, the court has stopped activities. And so the quickest path forward is to arrive at a settlement. We continue in active negotiations with UPW, and we are making progress. We are hopeful. And if we are able to come to an agreement, then the proposed amendments would allow us to execute and finish the agreement.
How closely are you willing to work with the House and the Senate, given the fact that they did not override your veto today, but said that they would be working on an amendment of their own?
Well, we continue to communicate with the legislature. I think we all are committed to the same thing. It's really assuring the health and safety on the people of Maui, resolving the transition and the lawsuit as quickly as possible. And so I appreciate their efforts. We look toward the best way to resolve the lawsuit and move forward.
In retrospect, though, shouldn't you have waited until June 2017 to make this transfer? I mean, you wouldn't be in this pickle right now.
Well, I just would start by saying that this is the first time that we've ever done anything of this magnitude in the history of the state of Hawaii. So there are a lot of things that we were doing for the first time. So I think all things considered, everyone involved, the public employees, the unions, the management of the existing facilities, as well as the Kaiser people have done remarkable work to get us to this point. And we all, I think, are committed to successful completion.
Governor, is there any, obviously it would differ per worker, but is there any rough sense that you can give us of what the payouts would be under your proposed bill?
Well, we essentially looked at the entire workforce that is there and looked at their length of service and as I said, tried to come up with separation benefit that was similar to what private employers have been offering. So, the devil's in the details, and we'd have to negotiate those separation benefits with the unions. I think it's premature for me to mention any specific.
And just clarification, Governor, so the issue about the tax exempt concern only came up during the bill review?
We did get notified from the ERS last week. And so, I think that it was a new item. It is unfortunate because that provision in the bill was in earlier drafts, and the pension system had submitted testimony but did not identify that specific issue.
Governor, with the legislature already in special session, do you have any thoughts on them also maybe taking up the Senate anyway, confirmation of your appointment of Tom Gore?
This special session of the legislature is specifically to deal with vetoes, and confirmations are not a part of the agenda.
Governor, the current draft circulating right now regarding unethical conduct at the PUC with both Owase and Gorak, are you concerned about a potential lawsuit? Are you concerned at all about this unethical allegation?
No, I'm unaware of the allegations. I haven't seen the complaint, and so I really don't have any comment. I believe that the appointment of Tom Gorak was made in accordance with the Constitution and the laws, and there will be an appropriate time for confirmation.
Are you concerned about the perception of the state's actions with this circulating?
I haven't seen the complaint, so I really don't have any way to comment.
One more question regarding the Senate's formal request to get a opinion from Attorney General Doug Chin. Did you not believe that they were talking in a formal opinion of Doug Chin? Are you concerned about?
No, the Attorney General is the state's attorney for everyone, including the legislature. I can appreciate, and as being a former legislator, understand their desire to get a legal opinion as well. And so certainly, the Attorney General will provide his best legal advice and respond to the questions raised.
Are you afraid that this is going to impact the process of the decision coming out?
Nope.
Governor, on a more general question, are you authorized to extend the tenure of any board member?
Am I authorized to extend? I'd really have to check.
You have the authority to appoint.
Yes, I do.
When the other person's tenure expires.
Right.
But do you have the authority to extend?
Well, if I don't make an appointment, then they are holdovers until an appointment is made, and in the case of the Public Utilities Commission, qualified.
Do you expect that the Senate will call for a special session just to deal with Gorek's appointment?
I really have not had any discussion with the Senate about what their actions might be.
In terms of House Bill 2077, who's your lead negotiator?
Who's the lead negotiator? Jim Nishimoto is the chief negotiator as director of human resource. I have been personally involved as well.
Have you consulted at all with the Lieutenant Governor on these Maui issues with the hospital?
I have talked with the Lieutenant Governor from time to time. I mean, I think as a resident of Maui, he definitely is anxious and is hopeful that we can resolve the lawsuit as quickly as possible and move forward. I think everyone involved would like to see a successful completion of the transfer.
Are we all set on questions?
And I would say that includes the unions. I think that they want to see the successful transition of the facility.
Both unions, UPWN?
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.